you guys doing? Welcome to Urban Facts. It is Thursday, 7 p.m., and we are ready to go. So before we start, we're going to just start off with a little prayer. So Father God, we just thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to bring knowledge to the community. We thank you for our guests, Lord. We thank you for the individuals that watch this podcast. We thank you for people that donate to the foundation. And Lord, I thank you for giving me the ability to start this foundation, the Ethel Lee Zachary Foundation. In your most holy name, I pray. Amen. All right. So we will be interviewing my pastor, Apostle Jimmie Ellis III. He is the pastor and founder of Victory Christian Center in Philadelphia, PA. It is the bedrock of Southwest Philadelphia. Sure hope I didn't mess that up because I'm sure he will call me after this. Before we get into that, if you guys remember in the summertime back in June, an elderly man by the name of James Lambert was assaulted by 7 youth. Excuse me. 2 out of the 7 youth were prosecuted. Let me pull that picture up here. Well, there you go. Where they at there? There you go, right there. So, Mr. Richard Jones and Gamara Mosley, both 14, they were charged in the death by a traffic cone of beating Mr. Lambert last summer. Recently, they were posted bail by an anonymous organization in Philadelphia. A judge ruled that out, increased that bail, and both of the youth are currently on house arrest. It's really getting, I guess, serious with the youth of Philadelphia. You know what I mean? Something definitely has to be done. They can't just, run rapid and, inflict violence and harm and danger onto other citizens. But it's not just Philadelphia. This type of behavior happens in other cities and states as well. So we're going to let you guys check out this video here from Fox News, Fox 7. The images on here are a little graphic, so just to throw that out there for you. But we will let you guys check it out here. So here we go right there.
Tonight, I'm Tom Haynes. The Sheriff's Office and the school district now have open investigations. NewsNet reporter Joy Dukes joins us now from the live desk. Joy, teacher advocates say classrooms have gotten more violent over the years.
Yeah, Tom, that teacher will have to undergo rehabilitation for her injuries. A representative for a state teachers union says that kind of violence at the hands of students is directly related to the country's massive teacher shortage.
This video of a student attacking a teacher inside a Heritage High School classroom on January 26th is now under review by the school district and authorities with the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office.
Students are out of control.
The video, which has since been shared thousands of times on social media, shows chaos erupting in the hallway after an argument between the student and teacher, seen here, escalate, as that student appears to slam the classroom door on the teacher and then begins to throw punches.
There is no excuse for the violence. There is no excuse for children who are coming to our schools daily, and we can have it so others cannot learn.
Verdelia Turner is the president of the Georgia Federation of Teachers. She says she was angered by what she saw in that video when she first watched it Monday. She tells Fox 5 incidents like this one make it difficult to keep teachers inside the classroom.
When we search the web and just Google student assaults on teachers, we'll see numerous assaults across the country.
She believes
my microphone was muted. So, according to the superintendent, if you do just a simple Google search, you'll see numerous videos of acts of violence that we just, witnessed on the Fox News show. It's very key that as parents, you have to get your child under control. It's not the school's job. It's not the library, the church, the mosque, wherever you at. It's your responsibility as a parent. Like, I'm 47 years old. I got godparents, even my pastor. If I do something, even my mentor, if I do something that's out of, the normal routine, even I get a phone call. If I call them, and I say, hey, I did so-and-so, they'll say, you was wrong for doing that. And due to my respect for those individuals, I have, I'll obey, according to what they say. You know what I mean? But what's happening now is that some of these children are so out of control that the parents you're not even parenting. You're letting the kids just run amok. And some of the parents are scared of their kids. That little girl, I believe they said she was 16. Like, I don't know if her parents are scared of her, but I've gotten calls that, hey, so-and-so can't control their child. The child will be 12 or 5. And it's a mess. So, excuse me, if you guys need help in the parenting area, just give us a call or email us at, let me see here. You can email us right there. It's elzfnd@outlook.com. We got resources in regards to parenting books. We'll give you a book I just researched today, in regards to parenting. But it's like the superintendent said, these children are horrible. And it's not all of them. It's just, it's not even a select few. It's a lot of them. But it's not all the kids, though. So, but, and I know you guys may be inexperienced at that and, scared to ask for help. I know it's, it may be shameful to ask for help in regards to, trying to be a better parent. I call my godmom all the time, my pastor, they my actual parents. So because I know when I need, advice in regards to something, I need somebody to turn to. You know what I mean? So we're going to bring on Dr. Ellis, but before we do, I'm going to give you a little clip of him. Let me see here. You can see what here. Let me see. Am I doing this right? There you go. Let's check out Dr. Ellis live here. So hold on here. Let me get it there. All right. Hold on. There you go.
You're sitting there and it feels like everybody's passing you by. See, this is why you need a lesson on waiting, because sometimes waiting is not pleasant. And then you get tired of waiting, and then you start complaining. We all do it, okay? You get tired of waiting, you start complaining. And this is the part that's funny. then you try to figure out a way of you doing it without looking disobedient.
So without further ado, let me get my behind back on here. I introduce to some and present to others Dr. Jimmie Ellis III. How you doing, Pop?
Hey,
All
God
right.
bless you.
God bless you. How was your day?
It was well. All is well. I can't complain.
Hey, I want to I know you'd be pretty busy. I want to thank you for, your time to come on and, share your wisdom with the community in
Thank you
regards.
for having me on. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. So we'll jump right into the interview. So you've been pastoring for over 40 years. So in your opinion, what would you say, with religion being out of the schools, how would you say that has affected youth in the inner city?
Well, first of all, the decline of religion is one of several problems. The decline, and I'm going to get to that in a second. The decline of religion is not the only reason why we got a problem.
Right.
To be clear about that. But taking prayer out of school meant that you took spirituality out. Now, spirituality gives you two things. The first thing it gives you is a sense of God. Okay? A sense of God means that I have to answer to a higher authority. Okay? And then the second one is morality. And morality is the sense of right and wrong. And prayer gives you the sense of right and wrong. But instead of having God now, we have humanism. Okay? We took God out by a lack of prayer. And what do you have on the throne now? You have humanism. And humanism is the philosophy of the individual. All right? The power of the human.
Mm-hmm.
So now that has replaced God. And when you replace God, that means you don't have to answer to anybody.
Mm.
See, once you get God out of the equation, that means you don't have to answer to nobody.
Mm.
All you answer to is who you worship, and you're worshiping yourself because you believe in humanism.
Right.
Which takes the morality picture out. Because the morality now is my truth. It's not right and wrong anymore. It is my truth. And I refute that 100% because really there is no thing as your individual truth. It is your belief. So let's not get truth mixed up with belief. See, if it's your truth, that means it can be a million truths out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a million truths out here. There are millions of beliefs out here. But there's one truth. And it was based on that one truth you can measure right from wrong. So because now there is no God in the schools, that submission of right and wrong is gone. That's why there is the beating up of teachers. Why? I don't have to respect anybody.
Right.
You see what I mean? Why? Because there is no sense of morality now. The individual thinks that they can do what they feel.
Now, is that just affecting the child, or does that also affect the parent as well?
Well, I'm going to get into that too, because like I said, there are other factors to be considered,
Mm-hmm.
and not just the prayer. Right. Now, prayer is one of them, but number two is the parent's role, because the parent's role is to instill the sense of God into a child and morality, what is right and what is wrong. But once again, because now the world is being shaped under humanism, the parent no longer wants to sacrifice for the child. The parent today wants to look out for themselves.
That's right.
You are a parent, so you know that you have to sacrifice for the betterment of your child.
Mm-hmm.
Well, under humanism, they're not doing it. Under humanism, it is to please me. That is more important than sacrificing for somebody else. So this is where you have the parent's role. And then two, you have to have stricter measures in our laws. Our laws are too loose. If these kids would see that this is what you're going to get if you continue down this path, believe me, it would be cut.
Right.
Okay. Number three, gun sales. Okay. Every city has to look for the reason, have to look for who is selling the guns to the kids.
Right.
I don't think the city cares. I don't think the government cares about who sells the gun to the kids.
I mean, not unless it start getting close to their house, but
Exactly. Exactly. So I don't believe that. And my last point about that is the heart of the individual. I don't believe that there's a lack of programs that everybody wants to hop on. We got more programs than you can even think about in this city.
That's right.
It's the heart of the person. And if a young person does not want that program, I don't care what you throw at them, they're not going to participate. These kids is connected to people that have spirits, if we're going to stay churchy.
Right.
Okay. These kids are connected to kids and systems that are demonic. And even if you are a good parent, even if you have instilled great godliness and education into your kids, you don't know who your kids is hanging with when they leave you. So to me, all those factors play a part in the violence that we have now.
Okay. So being from the inner city yourself, you had a couple paths to choose from. What made you go into the path of, wanting to be a pastor?
Well, in the beginning, I did not want to be a pastor.
Uh-huh.
In the beginning, I didn't. I started off with just wanting God to be a part of whatever I chose as a career.
Right.
And that's where I started off at. Because God was a big part of my upbringing. And like I said, it goes back to the parent. You see what I mean? So God was a big part of my upbringing. So I wanted God to be a part of whatever I had chose to be. So I went on to be an accountant. But in the middle of that accounting, my love for the word of God overrode my desire to be for an accountant. So I stopped being an accountant and went to Bible college. And then that's when the pastorate came in.
Okay. So from your own experience, how has the Black church evolved from the 60s and the 70s? I mean, to the church that we have today, the Black church that we have today.
Well, one thing I'm going to say, I believe that the Black church has grown. It has grown in a positive vein. Now, we have our problems, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But we have grown. I have seen the evolving of the church in its connection to certain things. We are more social now than ever before, which I think is a big plus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We are more youth conscious. than we have ever been. We're slowly getting into being men conscious, because for years church was more women conscious. But now the tide is turning a little bit, and it needs to be turned a little bit more to being men conscious. Okay, so I'm glad that we are looking at our youth, because the Black community understands, and it's a well-known fact, that the church is a major part of our lifestyle.
Right.
And because of that, if the church don't step in, a lot of stuff ain't gonna be solved. So we have grown socially. We've become more youth conscious. We've become more men conscious. We've become even more relaxed in our clothes, which is wonderful. You don't have to go to church and look formal. Okay, we are more into jeans, sneakers. Now people don't have to feel like they got to go to the store and buy ties and dresses and all of that. I think that is a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that the church has evolved over the years is being more political. Now, even though there should be a separation of church and state in certain things,
right,
it should not be in everything. And I think that the church is being more and more aware of that fact. I think it should be more in the Black church, because it's definitely in the white church. There is no question about that. We have seen that in the last couple of years, how the white church has stepped up to the plate to the point that it is a fault now, because they have integrated politics into their system of church.
Right. You've seen that just over, a couple of years with the elections and, politics within itself.
That is true. So now, so the Black church has definitely grown, but there is still more growing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I feel that there should be more spotlight on our senior citizens. Our senior citizens are ignored because we are taught as a culture to lift up the youth. But what good is it to lift up strength when you don't lift up wisdom?
That's right.
Okay, so what good is it to lift up how strong and how fine somebody is and they dumb? I'm just gonna put it to you like it is.
Right.
So there should be more uplifting. There should be more spotlight on senior citizens. Okay. Number two, there should be a balance and more talk about mental health in the church.
Mm-hmm.
There should be more talk about mental health in the church, and we need to define what strength is.
In regards to what?
In regards to holding stuff in versus what I should tell.
Okay.
One reason why there is such mental problems in the church is because we talk two sides out of our mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First of all, we say be yourself. And then when the person is themselves, we think something is wrong with them.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
Okay, now you know I'm telling the truth, right?
Right.
So there has to be a balance on what strength is.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to create an atmosphere of emotional expression.
Right.
Okay. We have to say that it's okay to cry and that you don't always have to look strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't have to look strong to be strong. And I'm going to say that again. You don't have to look strong to be strong, because tears is an expression that God created.
Right.
The Bible says Jesus wept. Okay. So so there needs to be more dialogue with that, my next point about that, the church needs more outward compassion. The church needs more outward compassion when it comes to LGBTQ people.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that it ain't going away. It's just not going away. More people have LGBTQ people in their families than it's ever been before.
Right.
Okay? And it is a stigma in the church. It's a stigma in the church. Church acts like they don't want to deal with it. It ain't going nowhere.
It's a stigma everywhere. Some parents don't even know how to really handle the issue, and they'd rather, like ignore it opposed to trying to address it.
Well, first of all, I don't think that they know how to address it.
Right.
Okay. I don't think they know how to address it, and the church don't want to address it. Besides saying it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can be accepting without agreeing, because that's a soul. You know what I'm saying? That's a soul. So I think there needs to be more talk and more compassion, because the church is not ready for them when they come to church.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not. I know people's going to say, be saved. Yeah, but be saved, and after that, what? You have to have a climate of love there. That climate of love is not there. And you're going to tell an LGBTQ person to leave their people that they're used to come into a church that don't accept them.
And it's hypocritical, some of them.
That is correct. And my last point is we need to shine more in the culture. I know the culture, we can't accept everything that the culture does because of biblical practice.
Right.
I accept that. But you got to find ways to be a light in all sectors of society. You got to be a light. We're not just light in the house. We need to be light in the street. And there's not enough of that. And that's what it should be. We need to be more lights on the outside than we are on the inside.
So what? I guess coming from, I don't even know. I don't want to say coming from a pastor's experience. I guess coming from somebody that has, spiritual sons and daughters. What advice would you give parents today?
Wow. Okay. That's a heavy one. All right. If a parent was sitting in front of me and they wanted to hear what I would say to them, number one, be super involved in the life of your kids.
Say that again, please.
Be super involved in the life of your kids, because your kids is the tomorrow today. And I'm going to repeat that again. Your kids is your tomorrow today. Okay? So everything you put in your child is an investment for your tomorrow. Your kids is your tomorrow today. So get super involved in the life of your kids. And what I mean by super involved, that means recreation, that means education, that means going to the parent and teachers things. Your kids need to see that you are super involved in their life. The second thing is to keep a spiritual element in their life. Keep the spiritual element in their life. That means you have to talk about God. You have to enforce prayer. And you got to enforce church going. And you have to enforce giving to the church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the parent is responsible for keeping the God element in a child's life. The church is not responsible. The church is the house. You bring them to the house.
Right.
Okay. Third point is an environment of unconditional love. The parent's job is to create an environment of unconditional love, which means showing affection, knowing how to laugh, and knowing how to talk. And one sign that you have an unconditional love environment is that it never feels like a threat environment. That child should run home, put their arms around you, affection ought to be showed, and they have the freedom to talk. Next point is with a parent is the balance between applying discipline versus counseling.
Yes, sir.
You know, now in my day, you know what I mean? You listen because you know the belt was in the next room. Okay, you knew the belt was in the next room, so don't even look like you want to throw a tube. Well, sad to say, we don't see much of that day anymore. Very little. Okay, so you got to know the difference between when to discipline and when we should have a talk. And my other point is instill the importance of education.
Right.
Okay. Your child is going to school for 12 years of his life. 12 years of his and her life, you're going to school. Why? Why are you going to school for 12 years? That child needs to know the reason why. Because education is going to make you smarter. So that needs to be instilled. And in the Black community, you stand more of a chance of a higher economic status. Okay? You stand more of a better economic status when you are educated. And I don't think that the parents push the need for education as much as they should. And my last point is instill a work ethic. Parents need to force their child to work. And it's not when you feel like it. You have a schedule to take out that trash. You have a schedule to clean up your room. It has to start early. And a lot of parents, what they do is they do everything for their child now, which is wrong, wrong, wrong. Yeah, go ahead and buy them stuff. But at the same time, it's establish a work ethic. Make them clean up around the house. Make them clean up, and I'll even give you some money at certain times. Right. So you establish a work ethic, and you be a parent and not a friend.
Say that again. Please say that again.
And be a parent and not a friend. So many parents' lives are messed up, so they want to live their life through their child. You be a parent and not a friend. The parent is the leader and the guide, not a friend. You can be the friend later on when you get grown.
Right.
So that's it for that.
So I'm gonna connect these two together. So if the child doesn't have a parent that knows how to enforce those points that you just gave, I guess what advice would you give them in regards to how to seek that? You know, like the children that, you know, recognize their parents isn't really parenting well, and you know they want better guidance. What could you give?
Oh, to the youth?
Right.
Okay. First of all, I would tell the youth to find the person of the person that they want to be. Find the person of the person that they want to be.
Okay.
I'm going to repeat what I said because I know it sounds a little confusing.
Right.
Find the person of the person you want to be. You want to be a doctor? Find that person. You want to be an athlete? Find that person. You want to be a motivational speaker? Find that person. If it's not in your parents, you know, maybe you come from a rough situation, go outside and try and find the person of the person that you want to be. Second of all, pay attention to who your friends are. You're a young person, I would tell you to pay attention who your friends are. Because a big issue with the youth of today is peer grouping.
Mm-hmm.
It is peer grouping. And you become who you follow.
That's right.
You become who you follow. And this is where the parents' role is so vital. Because young people don't know exactly who to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Young people don't know who to pick. They're gonna pick people who looks like they're willing to listen to them. And they could be a rapist. They could be a drug dealer or whatever. But this is a very, very important point because a lot of people follow violent people. They follow the wrong crowd. So you need to pay attention who your friends are, and the parents should pay attention who is friends with their kids. Number 3, fill the important voids that you have in your life. In other words, if you don't have a dad, then find someone that will fill that void. You need a brother, find someone that will fill that void. You need a mentor. You know, go to somebody, and this is where the church is so important. You go to somebody in the church that you feel you can trust, and let them steer, lead, and guide you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You mentioned the part about finding the dad, but if they don't actually have an example of a good dad themselves, then how would they know? You know, how would they go about finding a good dad?
Well, this is where a trusted person would come in. A coach. Okay, if they're doing after school activities,
right,
they would go to a coach. They would go to their minister. They would go to their youth director. You understand what I'm saying? Someone that they can look up to themselves. Somebody that they respect.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes off from there. You don't have to call them dad or whatever.
Right.
They can be a mentor, and that mentor can help shape them. And the last point is keep your spiritual life central. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1 says, remember your creator in the days of your youth. And this is, once again, you can't get away from the parent. You know, the parent has to teach you to pray or whatever, or go to a church. If you're raised in church or you go to church, that's a good thing. Because a good church, not a perfect one,
mm-hmm.
but a good church is going to lead you back to somebody higher than yourself. And a young person needs to know that I can depend on my faith when I can't depend on myself.
Amen about that.
So that's that.
Well, you definitely gave us a lot of nuggets to think about. I definitely appreciate you coming on. You put a different insight in regards to parents, you know, roads that the youth could take in regards to, you know, respect, spirituality, you know, them lacking certain things in their lives, such as parents. And, you know, I did want you to come on, you know, because you're a father figure to me. Mm-hmm. And I knew that, you know, just from the advice that you've given me throughout the years, that you would have that same advice, you know, for people out there to, you know, to view the show.
Well, one thing I want to say is I pray for the parents today, because like I said, I've seen parents in my own church. In our church. I've seen them gear their children towards God. I've seen them trying to put their children into great programs. But what they didn't, but yet, in spite of all of that, they are just some kids. They wind up on the wrong side because of their association. They hide all of this stuff from their parents. See, young people are very smart. Okay, they hide this stuff, and the parent don't know what their child is into.
Mm-hmm.
So my heart goes out to the parent too. We need to pray for the parent too, because there are parents out there that is doing the best that they can.
Yes,
they just don't know about that other life. They don't know about that other life of probably getting high. They don't know that other life of taking dope. They don't know that other life that they're hanging with the wrong group of people. And this is where the parent has to pray for discernment and ask God to show them what their child is into. Because a lot of times kids are hiding this stuff from their parents.
Yes, Lord. Well, Pop, I appreciate your wisdom. Hope we can have you again. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely check you out again. He is the pastor of Victory Christian Center. That is 5220 Whitby Avenue. That's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Our service times are on Sunday. It starts at 11 o'clock, and you can catch us live stream at 8 o'clock. He's a definite wonderful leader and an outstanding pastor. Thanks a lot, Pop. I appreciate your time.
And you keep up the good work, okay?
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. All this work came from you, so I appreciate that.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. So that was my pastor, Apostle Dr. Jimmie A. Ellis III, and he hit on a lot of good points. I come on here and I mention things about parenting, but he did mention something about, you got to really be involved in what your kids are doing. Like, kids hide things. You know what I mean? Like, I tell people all the time, my kids are on the, a right path now, but every now and then I got to ask them, like, what you doing? If I take them to a party or whatever like that, like, I'm going inside. Now, it might be embarrassing for them, but you're only going to be embarrassed for about, 5-10 minutes? You know what I mean? Because you want to know where your kids are going at. You go in there and they smoking weed or drinking, like, you don't leave your kid in there. You know what I mean? You take them out. Now, it may be embarrassing to the child, but it's for their own benefit. And you have to think, like, whose child is this? You can't let society raise your children. So it's either you're going to be a parent or the child going to be the parent. You know what I mean? And like you said, you got to set rules. It has to be consequences. Children can't do whatever they want to do. And you just like, well, whatever. Like, that don't work. Because they know if you going to just say whatever, then they're going to do whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to set consequences for these kids. I'm not saying knock them upside their head if they do something wrong. You have to have a conversation with them. Like you said, you have to have open communication. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a situation myself, like got my godmom or my godfather, Deagle and God, they'll have a conversation with me, to see like what's going on. So they know like what to correct, how to correct me in that situation. And you have to do the same thing with your kids. You have to know what the situation is so you know how to properly correct it. Now, I showed you guys that video, earlier in the show, and I know it was a little graphic, but that's just not happening in Atlanta. We had a 6-year-old a few weeks back shot his teacher. Now I ask some people, I say, well, who you think is going to be to blame for that? Oh, the kid. No. Because in some states, you can't charge children under 7 because they don't have the mental capacity to formulate plans like that, to bring a gun in and shoot a teacher or shoot an individual. The law says they're not mentally stable enough. They're not mentally intelligent enough to do that. So they're going to charge the parent. You have to be accepting of the actions of your kids, good or bad. Now, if you're going to jump up and down because they graduating from Temple and they got that piece of paper, they got that degree, then face the music when they do something wrong. Don't just throw your hands up and be like, I don't know where they learned that from. They learned it from you. Or you was doing something to where as though you didn't figure out what was happening. So it's a book here that I found here. Let me see. Here it is right here. I don't know if I can make this bigger or not. All right, here we go. Hold on here. Let me act like I know how to work this. All right, that. So the book here is called Dr. Shefela. I hope I said that right. And the name of the book is The Parenting Map: Step-by-Step Solutions to consciously create the ultimate parent-child relationship. I was having a rough time reading it. A lot of parents that I talk to, they say it's no manual that you get. You're absolutely right. Ain't no doctor standing there as soon as they pull the baby out and be like, Mrs. Jones, there was a boy, and here go your manual. It don't work like that. But if you didn't have the proper tools that you had when you was a parent, then why not get your child a book? And it's books right here. This is one we just introduced to you. We have another book called the book I Wish My Parents Had or Would Have Read. That's a parenting book. And I just do like a simple Google search. You know what I mean? Make sure that the person is, credible. Dr. Shefela is a credited psychologist. So she's giving you like in-depth conceptions in regards to parental relationships with your children. Now, I don't know her personally. I just read something. So please, it's bad parenting is haunting other people's lives, because without guidance and direction, these kids are going off on the wrong path. And it's your job as a parent to, make sure that doesn't happen. Now, if you as a person that you're not capable of being a parent, then there's situations for that too. I mean, I'm talking about while you're pregnant. You know what I mean? So if you got to get a baby up for adoption, and sometimes that's the best situation, because you're giving that baby a chance to have a better life. And the next time you come around and you decide to have a child, make sure you get your research together in regards to how to be a parent. Like, this is not easy. I'm not going to say I had situations with my kids all the time, but I have situations. And sometimes I got to handle the situation while it's happening. I can't call them like, hold on for a second. Like, how do I do this? You know what I mean? You can't do that. But I mean, well, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Don't get me wrong. But I have to handle the situation, in a reasonable manner. Now, I can't be hollering at them all the time and like going off the hook or whatever like that. I ain't gonna lie, saying I ain't never hollered at them, but that can't be your approach every time. And you can't beat these kids for the smallest thing. They knock over a glass of water, you ready to go get a belt? Like, no, just teach them how not to knock over a glass of water and talk to them. I know y'all come from a school, like Apostle said, if the conversation ain't work, the belt was in the next room. Like you shouldn't be carrying around belts on your hip like you Batman the belts. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't work like that. So we're going to we got here. Oh yeah. So next week we are interviewing Councilwoman Cindy Bass. She's going to be talking about inner city youth overcoming the streets. I ain't gonna lie, I work kind of hard to get these people. Apostle, Pastor Danette Ray, Councilwoman Bass. I try to get influential people because I want these guys to help y'all. The people that do watch, and I know it's people to watch, you can't watch on Thursday at 7. I know it's people to watch after that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, hopefully I can get a friend of mine, Mr. Clarence Johnson, in regards to estate planning and, plans to do prior to, your loved one passing. You know what I mean? And I know sometimes I could be, a little hard on some of the parents that's out there that just dropping the ball. But you have to, if you don't call out what's bad, then how you gonna know? If my kids is doing something bad and I don't say, hey, Amaya, that's bad, how's she supposed to know? She gonna think, just like Apostle said, if there's no rules governing inside of the institution that the child is at, then the child's going to think that what they're doing is right. They're going to be now self-governed. So we definitely going to have Councilwoman Bass. We had a student of the month for February. Young lady's name is, hold on, because I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see it. Then I got to read it from somewhere else. All right. So please don't kill me. Legita Whitehurst. That's a tongue right there. So Legita is an amazing sixth grade scholar who attends Global Leadership Academy Southwest. Legita serves as a scholar council. Legita serves on a scholar council, mentors younger scholars, and participates in continuous school and community services opportunities. Excuse me. Oh, I got lost that fast. Oh, Legita has often offered to teach our first grade scholars sign language for their language of the month as a part of her community service project. Legita is responsible and takes full ownership over her learning. Her goals for the future are to become a nail technician and a teacher. So she's trying to educate you and keep your nails looking right. She would like to teach grades K through 3, and the Ethel Lee Zachary Foundation. We honor you for your accomplishments. You are definitely an example to other scholars out there, and we salute you. And I myself, I don't know you personally, but I'm definitely proud of you. Keep up the good work. I'm looking forward to seeing your nail salon and, seeing you in the classroom change lives. So definitely keep up the good work. It's things like that it makes parents proud. You want to hear your kids doing good things and not going to church and somebody giving them a 10 to 20 cents. So we also do birthday shout outs on here. So today is this young man's birthday, Mr. Bilal Bell. Today is actually his birthday. So Bilal turned 18 today. So we want to give him a shout out on the, from the Ethel Lee Zachary Foundation. So happy birthday, sir. Bilal is an outstanding student. I forget what school he goes to. I think it's engineering and science or something. I forget. But he is a soccer player. He has I believe, a scholarship to go to his college in regards to soccer. So that's definitely a plus. So he ain't standing in front of Judge Reynolds talking about, young man, you just got 10 to 20. So that's not what's happening. So I want to make sure I ain't missed nothing. All right, bet. So we want to, if you guys need somewhere, you guys are big on social media, and if you guys want somewhere to, share your opinions and seek advice, we have a parenting forum, the ELZ parenting forum. Please feel free to, ask questions on there. Scroll through the group, because it's a group, and look for information, or like I said, post questions that you may have. I put things up there, and it's credible work. I don't put my own opinion up there. I don't find myself to be that great of a parent. You want to find out how my parenting is, you gotta ask my kids, because they the one experiencing it. So if you want to, let me make this a little bit bigger. If you need somewhere to go in regards to parenting and you need advice, we made this parenting forum for you guys. So it's on Facebook. I don't know how to do this on Instagram or Chat Snap or whatever it's called. I don't even know the names of things, but it's definitely on Facebook. So we got that there for you. I just want to thank you guys, for coming out. You guys definitely have been a blessing to me, just watching the show. You know what I mean? I think we've been doing this for a little over a year now. So we definitely try to bring, knowledgeable folks. I had to realize that y'all ain't want to just see me for an hour. I had too much to talk about. But, bring on people that would, definitely drop a nugget in your lives in regards to, parenting, the community and things like that. So if you guys want to give to this great cause, our Cash App is $ELZFDN. We just mentioned the young lady, Legita. She will be receiving a trophy for being a Scholar of the Month. We actually go out to the school, me and my director of education, and we present the awards to the Scholars of the Month. And also we do Educator of the Month also. So if you guys got any recommendations, please feel free to drop us a line, and we'll definitely help you out. But we definitely your funds go towards a good cause. We feed the homeless. I mean, we buying these books, and the books are no cost to you guys. We buy them and we give them to y'all. We get in contact with authors and see if they can donate or whatever. Or like I said, we buy them. We'll be buying a couple of the parenting books I just mentioned by Miss Dr. I forgot the lady's name. Oh, Shefall. I hope I'm saying that right. So if you guys are interested in getting a copy of that, just let me know, and we will get you out a copy. But that is definitely it for me. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. You guys are always awesome, and God bless, and good night. Let me make this just a little bigger in case you guys do want a copy. So if you guys are interested in getting a copy of this, you can drop a message in the comment section. We'll get you a copy of it, and can get it to you the best way we'll mail it out to you, is what I'm trying to say. So So no free of charge to you, obviously, of course. So like I said, thank you guys again. Thanks for tuning in. God bless and good night.